The Leafs, again, have been linked to Erik Karlsson. Dude, I don't know who's doing the linking. Maybe it's just because it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. How in the hell do you make this work? Again, everything stems back to the core four.
Yeah, pretty hard to add a Norris Trophy winning defenseman there with the cap the way it is, only going up by $1 million. And I mean, remember when we were within, like, was it $25 or even less that we were up against the cap at
Yeah.
October, November there? And it's just like, Jesus, you don't have room to do anything. And on one hand, you want to use all your cap and put together the best team you can, but on the other hand, if you're so hamstrung you can't do anything, you're putting yourself in a position with the cap. But I don't get how you could lock this guy up. Everybody wants him. Everyone's chomping at the bit. What do you give up to get this guy? You're going to have to give up something. And, you see on Twitter, like, what do they say? Marner and our 28th overall for Karlsson and whatever their pick
Who's saying
is.
this?
That's just nuts. I don't know, man. Let's see Treliving's magic, dude. It would be something else. But honestly, you can't get that guy without breaking something up cap wise.
It's always concerning knowing that you're relatively new on Twitter. You're probably following like a fake Frank Saravalli account, and you're like, "Hey, Martin's been dealt. That's it. I can't wait for you to break a trade on this show, and it actually doesn't go down." But
I've had mistakes that are pretty funny, usually grammar wise on Twitter. But I just like to check out what people are throwing out there. I'm not a big cap guy. I'm not a big contract guy. I like to put the bodies in place. Let's look at them and see what we can do with them from an actual play standpoint. But I mean, if they could make Karlsson work, I don't think you do it without blowing some stuff up.
Oh man, like dissecting that just from a player point of view, like Erik Karlsson to the back end of the Toronto Maple Leafs would be unbelievable. I mean, he's coming off a Norris, season, and I think everybody is looking to find a way for them to ignite their offense, find their offense when it mattered most, and that is the Stanley Cup playoffs, right? And everything comes in your back end. And I don't know if they have in terms of enough like Morgan Riley types, moving the puck up. Like, I mean, as one cohesive unit. So like, that's the wonder for me from a Karlsson standpoint. I really like the fit, obviously.
I would be. You just think about what that would look like with him carrying the puck up, entering the zone, being dangerous, penetrating down the middle, and what that would force the opposition to do. You gotta back off. You gotta like be positionally sound. Usually, you got your forwards kind of doing that, taking care of your D or hanging back, doing their thing. When you have a high-powered offensive defenseman like that, it kind of breaks up your opponent's ability to defend, and all of a sudden, you put too much emphasis on covering him coming up from the back end, and you open up all kinds of other things. And you think about the Marners and Matthews and Nylanders and Tavareses and all these guys, what happens to them when this guy starts putting plays together in the offensive zone? It's scary. And, he's also fairly defensively sound. His plus minus that last year was garbage, but so is his team. And, with just what he can do on the power play and just add to what's already just a deadly offense is pretty appealing.
He's a wizard. There's no doubt about that. But again, that conversation only starts if the Leafs are willing to talk about one of those key four guys or core four guys, whether it's Marner or Nylander. Those are the two guys in my world. I just think it's really unlikely. And from all accounts, even being around Frank Saravalli the last couple of days, like they're only willing to retain around 20%. I just don't see how it makes sense from the Maple Leafs perspective. Cap wise, the player would be phenomenal. But again, I just don't know if it's going to be a fit.